Oh, Lord have mercy. Which is worse? Looking at the G.O.P today, their congresswomen that they have. One that's on the gazpacho police and the other one the wonton killings. Is there any wonder that they're in trouble? Okay. What happened to the Republican Party? What happened to it? They put on a pedestal an absolute criminal, and then you have their white nationalist Christian churches and the evil angel squad, the evangelicals, which put him on a pedestal and are still out there saying, he is God's chosen one. He is the second coming. God is behind him. He will rise again. I'm telling you, he is not done. He will come into power. On what planet? So we have these ones out here that call the darkness light and the light darkness. We have them projecting all their foul deeds and foul mindsets onto those of light. We just watched the thing with the other insanity of whistleblowers, which were not whistleblowers at all. They were, their security clearances were taken away because they were January 6th sympathizers, okay? They were upholding, and here they are in the FBI upholding what happened January 6th. And then they're supposed to be having this big hearing on this, and the Democrats are asking for the transcripts about, when they interviewed this guy. Oh, no, well, he doesn't want it to come out there, so we're not giving it to you. Since when? So Jim Sock Jordan is up there telling them, no, you can't have it, you're not. So the actual rules of the House mean nothing anymore to this bozo. I mean, it's a clown show. They should all be up there wearing their red noses. I mean, because it's a clown show. I mean, it's horrible. So we've got the gazpacho police squad over there. We've got the wonton killings. And then we got Jim Sock Jordan, which is absolutely perversion of what a House investigatory happening should be. They want to get rid of the FBI. We want to get rid of the DOJ. We're all for law and order. In 1 second. We're all for law. We're the law and order party. But we want to get rid of all these ones. The only law and order we want is what we say and what we want. Okay? They actually have these QAnon crazies talking about the storm. That 45 is going to come back into power. And we're going to have public executions. And who is out there advocating that? That idiot general, which, of course, Trump would put into power, in a position of power, who's already been labeled a criminal for things that he's done behind the scenes. And you're just going, this is insane. And then you have the MAGA crowd, which are so down this rabbit hole of craziness They can't believe what's right in front of their eyes. They're all in this, we've got deeper knowledge. We're down this rabbit hole of, it's a deep state conspiracy, and JFK's going to come back and, and run the country. And I'm just like, oh, mercy. So they've exchanged the words of Christ to have a church and carry a big AK-47. Now, what part of that resonates with anything that Christ was teaching? It's anathema to anything that he was there giving out. But that's what their churches is advocating. Okay? Christianity, have a Bible here and your AK-47 here. The insanity of it has gotten so, it's non-ending. It's non-ending. So what about this insanity? What the heck? Well, it's like I said, the dark and the light, there is a parting of the ways that's happening. Yeah, we see this action, the timing of it, okay? This stuff is just coming more and more into view as to what's been under the surface percolating, okay? We've got magic. Magic is about what? Deception, okay? Smoke and mirrors, deception, it's trickery, okay? So we have a lot of that going on. Magic, there's nothing magic about magic, okay? It's all deception, it's all smoke and mirrors, it's all a con, it's all a, So that's what they continued. And we just have to continue to have patience. Now, I had the reading on that today about religiosity and needing to look deeper and go back to what, again, at the heart of the religious things. Whether it's Buddhism, it's about compassion, it's about love, it's about finding what's there, or Hinduism or Christianity, get down to the face value, the face facts. Contemplate. It's time to really look at this stuff, sit there with it, contemplate it, look at it deeper, because we're in the midst of what? Who's sitting there looking? The clown show. How kid you not? We're in the midst of the clown show, and it's dark. Okay? They're in what? It looks like a church hall. They're in this corrupted churchiology, and it's a clown show, okay? But there's nothing funny about it. It's sick. It's like John Wayne Gacy clown show. It's sick. It's destructive, okay? We need to think outside the box. They've gone down the rabbit hole. Insanity, magic mushrooms. They're in a place of delusion that they're trapped by. And so we need to look deeper at what's going on. Okay? We need to dare to look at what is coming out and how it's coming out. Okay? And we need to get to inspiration. Now, I never really looked at this card, but if you look at it deeply, inspiration, we have whales coming out of the clouds here, and we have the path of life here. These are called the path of life that you walk. Okay? So be inspired by life. And that's what we're here. We're here, again, Is this like the school? The school. So we need to take our inspiration from our walk, our daily walk. Are we going down the path of right thinking, morality, honesty, integrity? Or are you going down the rabbit hole of darkness and thinking that the more repressive you are, the more arrogant you are, the more deceptive you are, that you have more power? What are your desires? Okay? Are your desires something uplifting, or are they something of for the dark? Are they egotistical? It's like Satan says, just bow down and worship me, worship ego, and you can have whatever you want, okay? Throw out morality, throw out integrity. Be down and dirty and you can get what you want, okay? But like Christ says, what benefits you if you gain the whole world and you lose your soul, you lose your humanity, you lose your integrity? And he says, what? Get behind me, Satan. You shall not tempt the Lord your God. You don't tempt it, okay? You have hope. You have, again, you have faith. What is faith? Rather than just hoping. Now in this hope, what is it? It's colorless, drained of everything. Hope is that this is going to come. But in hope, people are lackluster. They're drained versus having faith. Now, what is the definition of faith? What is it really? It's the substance of things unseen. The substance of things unseen. In other words, I know it's there. I know it's real. I know it's concrete. That's faith. It's not hope. It's not this feeling of drained. And it's knowing. It says if you have faith like the grain of mustard seed, you can say to this mountain to move and it will move. So what is a mustard seed? It's the smallest seed on the planet. But when it's planted, it has no doubt of what it's going to be. Okay, that's the faith of a mustard seed. It grows into one of the largest trees. A mustard tree is huge. It's a huge tree. It's this little bitty seed. Okay? But there's no doubt about, will I actually grow up? Will I actually? No, it's just there, and it's the substance, and it's going to be there. Okay? So again, have faith. Faith is not hope. Faith is absolute knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is concrete. Maybe it's not seen yet. Doesn't matter. It's there. Okay? Have faith. And know that things are impermanent when it comes to all things come in and all things pass. They have their lifespan and then we go on. So know, and that's one of the big teachings in Buddhism, that what causes anxiety, it's impermanence. People don't want change. And the world is all about change. In every second, you are a universe unto yourself. In your body are cells, and there are, battles going on. All sorts of things are happening in the physicality of form. You are a universe unto yourself. And the whole way down the chain, it's a universe, okay? From the microcosm to the macrocosm. Everything is interconnected. Everything has got flow. There are always wars going on, there's always peace going on, there's always things that work together, and there are always things in conflict. And it is all impermanent. Okay? So we are here in this impermanence, which is the transitory world, encased in the always permanent, which is that God essence, which is whole and complete as it is, and that is in the center of all the impermanence. Okay? So it has a good center, and it's just the things that are going on around it that are always in flux, always in change, always in motion. But there is, if you find that God essence, if you even glimpse it, just transitory, those that have near-death experiences get a slight view on it. And there's no more fear of death, there's no more fear of any of that, because they feel that unconditional love. Well, if you dismantle into it totally, there is no you, there is no world, there's only that divine is, and your whole consciousness shifts. It changes, because beyond the shadow of a doubt, you don't have hope that there is God, the hope of karmic intervention, hope of those things. 100% that it is. And that God, because of the way that God is, what we call God, it is spirit, okay? It's energy, it's spirit, it's the substance of things unseen as well. I call it the pregnant void, because it's pregnant with everything that will ever come into existence. Void because it's not something that you grasp and you touch, but it's more real than anything we see in the transitory realm. And that's at the center of everything. Okay? So those things that are out of that center have conflict, have darkness, have, they can be in that delusion. But that separation, that feeling of separation, we can see what's happening with that dark now. It's getting crazier and crazier and crazier in conflict, because it is against the natural workings of the divine is. And when it's out of alignment with that, you have this friction, you have this difficulty. And so that's why we see this ongoing clown show of darkness now, that wants to try to control, but you cannot control the divine is. Okay? And they find out that these things are impermanent. Okay? And that which they want to try to control, they only have a sense of control for a while. And so what do we need to do? We need to what? Ride the waves. Okay? Ride the waves. Now I love this. She's on there. We've got this crow running across. We've got all this brilliant color. We've got the butterflies of transformation. And ride the waves. That's why I said, grab your popcorn, buckle up, enjoy the show, because this is all transient, okay? This is all transient. And reveal the secrets, okay? More and more is going on, but don't forget, there's an eternal realm and there's a transitory. Here we're in a transitory realm, but there is an eternal realm of unchanging divine is that's at the center of all the universe. Okay, it's like a wheel. The divine is the axle, and the transitory is the wheel that circulates around it. But the divine is the axle holds it all in place. It can only go so far. Okay, can only go so far. So look at, again, what you are attached to. Are you attached to these things which are death in motion? Okay. Or are you attached to that which is eternal? Eternal and unchanging, and you enjoy the transitory for what it is, the great ride. Okay. So anyway, on that note, I didn't know that this was going to turn into what it did. It turned into kind of a big looking at this. But yeah, I wish that everybody could have the ability to glimpse the divine is just for 1 second. And you would have such a mass revelation and peace, that peace that passes understanding. Because you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is it's like the axle. And it holds everything into place. And it doesn't matter how dark it looks, you understand that that's a shadow substance. It's just shadow. And shadow, what? The dark cannot comprehend the light. And that's what's going on. That's why it's getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And it tries to subvert the light by what? Like we see those churches, that's why it's called the Antichrist, which is a movement. It's not a direct person. It's a movement of those that are against Christ. They want to talk Christ, but they're against Christ. Christ is about love and humility. They are about control, ego, power, guns. Okay? Antichrist, against Christ. Yet they want to promote it as if it is Christian and it is coming from Christ. Yet you'll never hear them actually speaking the words of Christ in any of their sermons. They're always in the Old Testament of talking about fear, and God's a jealous God, and no. And that's what Christ came to dispel. He came to give wisdom. He came to give light. He came to give truth. But they have exchanged the truth for the dark. Okay? And they rail against truth. Just like they rail against, we say, get rid of these AK-47s, get rid of these things. Oh, no. Because we need to protect, we need to, 100% fallacy. It's mental illness that does it, it's not guns. Well, if that mental illness didn't have a gun in their hands, guess what? Those people would still be alive. So no matter how they want to try to skew things and make the dark light and the light dark, in the end, they will only be successful for a very short time because they are anathema to life, love, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Okay? So, on that note, I'm going to leave this here, and I'll see you online.